Good morning. This is your author Mark coming to you with another interesting YouTube discussion. Now, today I wasn't going to make a YouTube video, but the thing is, I came across a very interesting 60 minutes piece about nonprofit colleges versus for-profit colleges. Now, I did some YouTube videos regarding the education system in America. I've already done some YouTube videos regarding the education system here in America, but this one was a very interesting YouTube piece. Now, I'm going to make my own comments and observations when it comes to this news piece that 60 Minutes has put out. And may I say that they did a good job on this particular news segment. Now, they don't do a good job all the time, but for this news piece, they did an excellent job in my opinion. Now, the thing that gets me is that they had these students that graduated from these so-called for-profit colleges. Those students complained that those colleges have put us in student loan debt, and they haven't helped us find jobs. Now, may I say, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I'm going to say it is a very bad thing. But here's the deal. In my opinion, I personally have a question. One, and the question is, because I don't see a difference in this, but I do have a question. What is the difference between a for-profit college, okay, and a non-profit college? Because the reason I say that I don't see any difference in a for-profit college or a non-profit college, because either of those institutions of so-called higher learning, they are charging us. They charge us tuition. They charge us room. Some of them do charge room and board, and some of them, and they do both of these things. They charge for the textbooks and student fees and all those other things. Now, the question is, now when it comes to the quality of the education for versus a profit college versus a non-profit college, there is in my opinion, there's very little difference in the quality of education. But now there's what I'm trying to get at is whether you go to a for-profit college nowadays or a non-profit college, it doesn't make a difference. The only thing you should be concerned, in my opinion, is this college accredited by an accreditation body such as the Middle States accreditation or any of those bodies that accreditation bodies, that accredit your college institutions in your country or in your state. But here's where I'm driving at. They said that these for-profit colleges put us in student loan. Those students complained that those for-profit colleges put us in student loan debt and all. They didn't help us find jobs and all those other things. We'll examine those things in this particular video a little bit deeper. Now, when it comes to student loan crisis, we all know that America is in a student loan crisis. Whether you go, and it doesn't matter whether you go to a for-profit college and a nonprofit college. So, but you're still going to be stuck in the student loan debt. Now, the other thing that you have to understand that, and your parents will not teach you this, your teachers will not teach you this, and anybody else will not teach you this, that we do have a job finding crisis, that we have a large unemployment rate in America right now. Although, yeah, they said that the although that the labor statistics, the Office of Labor Statistics says that our unemployment rate is very low, and a lot of people do have jobs. Well, when last time I was in college, when I did have I'm going to admit I did have a hard time with statistics, but I learned one thing, that statistics can be manipulated. So in reality, because of the Bureau of Labor Statistics and all those other things, it was proven that they were, what do you call, fudging the numbers, but that they were fudging the numbers. But in reality, statistics don't. I personally don't trust the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because when I learned statistics, I learned one thing about that statistics can be manipulated. So there's that. Now, and what you have to understand, that nowadays our industrial what do you call, our industrial base, in my opinion, is in chaos. Now, I don't know in any other branches of the industry. I do do research on it once in a blue moon. But what I'm going to speak about is, for example, and this is I know a little bit more about this because I do hold a degree in computer science. I do hold an associate's degree, and I do hold a bachelor's degree from Strayer University, ladies and gentlemen. So I can only speak about what's going on in the IT industry, and in the IT industry, there's chaos out there. First of all those certifications, such as A+ certification, Microsoft MCP certifications, Cisco certifications, the whole certification route, in my opinion, in the IT industry is in chaos. And that is because nowadays, when you get your certification, whether you get your A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, or Cisco certification, what you have to understand is they do have to be renewed every 2 to 3 years. So there's chaos in that. Now, when it comes to the chaos in the IT industry, because the IT industry has, before you got your A+ certification, your Network Plus certification, your Security Plus certification, and then you got your MCP, MCSA, and MCSE certifications from Microsoft, then you're golden back in the old days. But now there's a large layoff in the computer job market, because those companies such as Google, such as Microsoft, they're cutting jobs, okay, and there's a lot of computer people, they'll be out of work. Now, besides the computer industry, I've been reading about that a lot of those other industries are also in the transition, or basically in the same chaos. They're going through the same chaos, growing pains, etc. So So when when those universities, whether for profit or non-profit, they're saying that they're having a hard time finding jobs for recent college graduates. You see, 60 Minutes itself, they did a good job on that particular piece when it came to the for-profit colleges, but the things they, in my opinion, what they did was they actually scratched the surface. They did not mention that our industrial base itself, it's going through transition or chaos or whatever you want to call it now, and that is because, and when I say the whole, our industrial base is going through a sort of chaos, is because most of our jobs in the future, or they're slowly being replaced by artificial intelligence. They're definitely going to be replaced by robots, and our whole entire industrial base will be, it's basically going through a transition. But what 60 Minutes and other talking heads do not address is that because of this transition or chaos when it comes to the industrial base in our country, the United States, there's going to be very drastic changes, in my opinion. I mean, for example, I am not for universal basic income, but unfortunately, due to the chaos and the reorganization of our industrial base, we're going to have to accept some sort of basic income. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, in my opinion, it is accepting universal basic income. It is a bad thing because it's going to make people more, not want to work, not want to open up their own businesses and all that other. They're not going to. Basically, people are not going to work, and the reason that's going to happen is because if this universal basic income comes through, then they're going to say, well, why should I work if I get free money? And that's one way of looking at it. But the reality of it is that if you're going to have very limited jobs in the job market, then what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to make a living if your jobs are going to be replaced by artificial intelligence? And most of the jobs are going to go away and also they're going to be replaced by robots. So what is a person supposed to do now? So in my opinion, whether you graduate from a for-profit college or a non-profit college, now it doesn't make that much difference. And you have to remember when it comes to also job competition in the job market is what people do not address. Now, there's one guy that addresses this. That's a tech lead guy. I'm gonna link his video to my video, and I'm also gonna link the video of the 60-minute piece that I was talking about in this particular. I'm going to link it down in my video description, and I'm also going to link it in the comment section so you can have a look at those particular videos, so you can get more in-depth information. Now, there's another thing that yeah, that this piece on 60 Minutes, which was a very good piece, does not address is the competition from the B3B visas, because a lot of those IT workers are being imported from other countries, and that kind of thing, in my opinion, that kind of prices us, the American people, out of the computer job market. Now, because of this, the so-called disruption in the job market, because the McDonald's jobs, the server jobs are, in my opinion, are slowly being replaced by artificial intelligence, by robots, etc. Now, some people say, "Oh, Mark, you're a sellout. You're accepting basic income. Blah blah blah." Look, the thing is, in my opinion, because of this chaos in our so-called industrial market and job market, we will have to accept some sort of basic income, because what are you going to now? There's a lot of people that are complaining. Some people say, "Oh, the nonprofit colleges are better than the for-profit colleges, etc., etc." But in my opinion, it doesn't matter which college you go for. You're still going to have to compete in the job market for the limited jobs that we do have now. Just because you get out there with a college degree nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, that most people do not address, and they say that you don't have a job, that a lot of people don't have jobs in the jobs that they were trained by college or university, that they can't find jobs in their field. Well, what you have to understand, and this is kind of our parents' fault too, because our parents brainwashed us. They said, they told us, they said, "Oh, son, once you have a college degree, you're going to be making X amount of money and all, and you're going to be able to afford a nice house, a Lamborghini, and all these wonderful things. You're going to have a family. You're going to be able to do this and all." But listen, and this is more addressing to the parents who brainwash their kids. Look, this is America 2025. This is not 1950s. Now, in the 1950s and 60s, that might have been possible, but unfortunately your kids are going to grow up in the different world that you grew up in. So, I'm saying in this case, they do deserve some slack in that case, because the what public schools don't teach you, what colleges and universities don't teach in their classes, that is that nowadays, for every little job that there is out there in America, there's 100 and millions of people applying for the same job. So what I'm saying is, there's going to be a lot of competition out there for one job. So in that case, I do not understand why are those students in that 60 Minutes report are complaining about, that those colleges that we graduated from didn't help us find jobs and all this other thing. Don't these people understand that it is very difficult now, especially when you're a college graduate, when you're a recent college graduate, you don't have any experience. when you're just fresh out of the gate, you don't have any experience. So, and it's going to get, in my opinion, it's going to get harder and harder nowadays to find jobs. Now, I have also written a book about this that is still available out there and on Amazon. It's called Progressive Credentialism versus Ageism, where I go into in depth why this is happening. But really, in my opinion, it doesn't matter which college you go into, whether it is for profit or non-profit college, as long as it's accredited. Then that's the best thing you can actually go for. And you have to understand that, and John Stossel was addressing this a long time ago. That was a great reporter on Fox, and Lou Dobbs was a great reporter, and he was addressing this issue of college graduates having trouble finding jobs on Fox Business Network. And those guys hit the nail on the head when they said that there's too many college graduates, but not enough actually working class in this particular, in our particular economic situation. So I hope that you guys like this video, and I will see you in the next one.